Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. This is message. Hi, Dan. All right.
Welcome to Tea Time with
Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. This is super recent. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I missed you guys. I really did. Hey, everybody, or everybody that's going to be tuning in later. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. I did miss you guys. It's been a while. I have not been on for the month, basically the month of February. And I had planned on doing some things new, some new intros and everything, but no, I didn't do it. I needed a break. For everybody that's going to be tuning in at a later time. Yeah, sometimes you have to give yourself a mental health break, and that is what I did. And I feel really good. Oh, let me go back because I forgot to welcome everybody to Tea Time with Bunky. I forgot to thank all of my Tea Time with Bunky followers and subscribers, those that have been with me throughout this entire journey. I appreciate you all so much, more than you know. Thank you for being patient with me. Those, like I said, that's going to be tuning in later. Because I haven't been on in so long, I messed up your routine, but I needed a mental health break, and I had some other things going on that I needed to take care of self. So I'm back. I'm refreshed. Like I said, I hadn't been here the month of February. I was kind of checking out a little bit, to be honest with you, after the elections, because it was just a little bit too much for me, and my anxiety was all over the place. So I missed a whole lot while I was out. I didn't do any Black History Month celebrations, but shout out Black History, all of the inventors, the go-getters, the frontliners, all of that. That's what we do. Black America, that's what we do. So even though I wasn't on, it wasn't forgotten. Rest in peace to Miss Angie Stone, R&B music legend, who died tragically in an automobile accident, which was kind of crazy. But I guess it does happen. There were 8 people in the Sprinter, and she was the only one who lost her life. But if you go back and you look, she had a situation back in December. I believe it was December, where it was almost over, kind of. And God gave her more time to do what she had to do to spread the word about the music industry or whatever. God gave her time to do what she needed to do and get that word out. And then she went home to be with the Lord. So rest in peace to Miss Angie Stone. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about what is going on, because that's the question. That's what I've been looking at. I've been looking at that, sort of the news, not quite the news. I haven't been really watching the news until I knew it was time to prepare for this show again. And all I can say is that America is in crisis. We are in crisis. We are in crisis. The world is watching us unravel. Basically, that's what's going on. The world is watching us unravel. We have inflation skyrocketing. And when I say inflation, I can talk about locally. People in New York, in my area, who have NYSEG, that's New York State Electric and Gas. We've been dealing with the fact that our electric bills have doubled. Okay. When I look at my bill from 2 months ago, when it was cold 2 months ago. Yeah, it was cold. Or when I look at my bills from last year, this time, the highest my bill may have gotten to was maybe a little over $200. Okay. But last month my bill was $350. This month it was $340. And it's something with the 2 charges or whatever. Anyway, they're price gouging us, basically. In a nutshell, they're price gouging us. So inflation is skyrocketing. That dude ain't bring down the price of eggs. If anything, is going up. Jobs are disappearing. People are scared to go to work, scared to go to school, because they feel as if ICE is going to come and get them. Benefits are being cut. This dude is talking about cutting Medicare, Medicaid, and over 11 million people depend on these resources. Um, the Medicare covers about 65% of the health insurance for our seniors and people with disabilities, different type of disabilities. And because they're part of the top 1%, actually he really wasn't until he got involved with Musk, that loon, and the people that he surrounded himself with. There was boosting up his bank account. So Medicare, Social Security, talking about that, something that those of us who have been working, I have been working on the book since I was 15 years old and have been paying into this. They really have no right to touch it, but because he's in position, he feels as if he can do this. Now, I know I'm running over this really quick because I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper as I go along. Um, what else is going on? There's going to be food shortages. I think it was Alaska. I think I saw something with a lady from Alaska. She said in the next two cropping seasons, by the next two cropping seasons, they'll probably be done, wiped out because they don't have any workers. These are people in those red states that voted to cut, to do the mass deportations or whatever, and they weren't even looking out in their own fields. They weren't looking at the people that were working for them. Everybody has this attitude, oh, he wasn't going to do this to me. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. He's doing it to you. You're the one he's doing it to, and you're the one who gave him your vote blindly. Even though we told you not to do it, you did it anyway. I don't know what you thought. I don't know, because the man said he was going to do what he's doing, but it's what it is. So we're doing that. The measles, we have diseases coming back around, because the dude who he has, look, yeah, because I needed to teach y'all remember I bought this book, remember Project 2025? Well, I went in, and you guys can't see it, but I wrote the names of all of the appointments. So he put what's his name, Robert Kennedy Jr., or the Secretary of Health and Human Services, right? He's an anti-vaxxer. He had said that there's always the measles has always been around. There was a one time it was basically eradicated, and people who don't want to have their kids vaccinated because it's their rights or whatever, but you're not thinking about anybody else. And it's like in these populations that is growing. The measles is now there are 164 cases of the measles, and there was unfortunately one child lost his life to it, and it's in the 124 spread out through Texas, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, New Mexico, Kentucky, Georgia, California, Alaska, and Washington. So what does that mean? That means that there's a high chance that this could be another pandemic. Who was it? Gates. I think it was Gates. He was on The View, and he said there's probably going to be about in the next 4 years there's going to be several, and he because he rich. I was let me rewind this. Okay, I got my notes. Let me go. I was asking myself the question as I was looking through this. I was trying to make my notes for this episode, and growing up in the church as I did, I always heard, we're not doing evangelical stuff. This is not what we're doing. We're just talking Bible now. And in church, I always heard that in the times when you see these signs, look up. The redemption draweth nigh. When you see these signs, look up. And we see wars and rumors of wars. Dude, when he had that meeting with Zelensky, do I have it? No, when Trump and Vance were bullying Zelensky, as you see, I got my Stand With Ukraine thing up there because no doubt I'm not standing with Russia. They were the bullies, and bullies, support bullies. He kept mentioning World War III. he kept mentioning it. It's like he was poking, it's like this man wants this. So like we always heard of wars and rumors of wars. We heard of famines. Um, we heard of um persecution of Christians. Now, when you hear the persecution of Christians, I'm not there are a lot. America's made up of a plethora of different religions, and I respect them all. I respect them all. But the ones that are taking head right now are those evangelicals. And I say those evangelicals because they're the ones who are surrounding the current president. And you hear the craziness. And we hear about the Antichrist. Now, I don't know if he is the Antichrist, but I'm just going to say he's doing some Antichrist's behavior. There's some people that they look at him like he's the second coming. Like they've compared this thing to Jesus. They've compared him. They've compared Trump to Jesus. Can you imagine it? Yeah. So, and the increase of there's going to be wickedness, a huge surge of wickedness, lawlessness across the nations. Don't that sound Bible to y'all? Or is it just me? That sounds like, hey, Vanessa, thank you for tuning in. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds a lot really biblical to me. And it's I wouldn't say nervous, but yeah, it's making you think and making you look at what's going on around the world. I want everybody to please join in and let's have this conversation. We have this dude when he first got up, he said when he first got elected, he promised people, those that were believing his shenanigans, he promised these people that he was going to bring down the price of eggs. Bring down the price of eggs. I'm going to do mass deportations. I'm going to drain the swamps. That's what he said, y'all. He said, I'm going to drain the swamps. And what's in the swamps? The bottom feeders. Who is appearing to be a bottom feeder? To me, this does not reflect the people who view my show. But to me, I personally think dude is a bottom feeder. Everybody that he has put into position or either over hedge funds, they're all millionaires at some point, not multimillionaires. Some are multimillionaires, some are billionaires. The main billionaire, the loon that he has over Doge, which I didn't know what Doge was. I don't know how many people know what Doge is. Look, this is something that I'm learning how to do this. I didn't know what Doge was. I'm going to share my screen here. Is this it? Yes, this is it right here. Doge. What is Doge? Wait, can you see it? Can you guys see it? Nope, there we go. There we go. Doge. There we go. So Doge is wait. Doge members have been aiming to cut spending on the federal level, resulting in numerous layoffs and buyouts across multiple government sectors. Recent court filings have called into question Musk's role with Doge, stating that Musk is a senior advisor to Trump. Now, he's been trying to say, that still doesn't say what Doge is. But anyway, it's something that Trump created, and he put Elon Musk over it, and he's running around cutting things. You see people, you see the large layoff of the federal workers, military veterans that have lost their, stop sharing, that have lost their jobs. And they were running around saying that they were pro-police, they were pro-military, and yet they laid off all of these workers who are now disabled for the most part. And Doug Collins, I don't know who Doug Collins is, but Doug Collins is now the Secretary of Veteran Affairs. So if anybody could look him up, I didn't look him up. There was just too much going on. Barry, even the elect will be deceive. It's written in the Bible. Yes, tell it. Well, you know what? These people, you know what? Barry and family. Barry. Okay, Barry. These people believe what they want to believe. They believe what they want to believe. When you look at the Antichrist is supposed to bring peace first, then chaos. Okay, so then, but Vanessa, was he bringing peace to those that look like him? And when I say those that look like him, when you look, I'm going to call it like it is because it's tea time at Bunky. When you look at the people who he surrounded himself with, you look at this man that he had placed, he fired him and he rehired him. He fired him in his first administration. He's the one that said that America basically should be run by all white men. That's what he said. He said it now. He said it and he hired him back. So to those people, to those supremacists, those people that's dealing in white supremacy, was he, hey, Jamie, was he bringing peace in their minds? Because to us, he's always been bringing chaos, okay? Hey, child, he's always been bringing chaos. But to the white supremacists, did it look like peace? I don't know. So that's a good question, because I remember back in the day when my president Obama was in, people was like, oh, he's the Antichrist. Da, 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 da. I remember like, nah, he is not. No, he's not the Antichrist. But then we look at what's going on with this dude. All the hate. I mean, he spews hate. He turns red over his orange because he's so upset. Now with the food prices, Vanessa, I don't know exactly where you are, so I don't know if you have NYSEG. I mentioned it earlier in my show for those of us that have the NYSEG providers for our electricity, that our bills, most of us, I've heard of a few who haven't gone through that, thank God. Our NYSEG bills have doubled. I mean, double, to the point where I am looking even. Hey, Sharon, thank you for tuning in. That I'm like, yo, I got to get a second job just to pay my electric bill. So we have those things going up. And speaking of electric, I'm so off my script, y'all. But that's what happens when there's conversation. I love it. Speaking of electric, Canada, when Trump was talking about the 25% tariffs to Canada, China, Canada, Mexico, I think it's 10 to China, and they were coming back for us. One of the main guys at China, I mean, not China, Lord, Canada, he totally apologized to us. He looked into the camera and is going to be the tariffs, yeah, and where you are, they're saying that he's going to stop. Well, he apologized, he took it back, but at one point he said he was going to stop the electricity coming from Canada, Ontario, those things. Now, can you imagine what's going to happen if they stop the electricity uses that we get from Canada? And also, before this even happened, when our NYSEG bills went up, for those that don't know, there's also our Governor Mayor Hochul approved this because she had to go through it, because she ain't rich. They don't care. They don't live paycheck to paycheck. There's going to be another increase in May. So there's another increase in May on top of what we're already paying. And then now we have these wars, financial wars, with Canada. And you know what? I'm not even mad at them. I'm not mad at them. And they're not mad at us, because he said, the guy said, he said, it's not America. They said it's just one person. So it's this one demon, my bill. You just stopped me in my tracks just now. Yes, I know that the owners are now from Spain, but your bill was $4,000. Did you go to that meeting? There was a meeting at the government building here in Sullivan County. There was a meeting. I thought it was going to be like a like a forum. So I went to the second one because the first one was like 10 o'clock in the morning and most real people got jobs. So I went to the other one from 5 to 7 last week. And I thought it was like an open forum, but what you walk up and there was this line. I'm like, oh my God. So a lot of people coming out. What they wanted you to do was bring your bill, right? They wanted you to bring your bill. You got the people sitting there in the suits at the table. Bring your bill so they can sit down and explain it to you. No, don't explain my bill to me. I know my electric. I know how much I use. I'm one person. But Perry, I don't know. And then they talk about going on these payment plans, which everybody knows if you had to, if you go on a payment plan, you go there, you pay like a couple of dollars or whatever. They put you get this one bill for like $10, $30 or whatever. And then the next month you get the bill, which would be let's just say it's 40 every month, $40 again, $4,000 again, plus the $40. And you got to pay the whole thing with the $40. So that's the part they're not telling you. Or they'll be like, oh, we'll go apply for HEAP. Majority of us don't qualify for HEAP or any of the services that they're offering. So it's bogus. It's basically pay your bill or have your lights turned off. Spain owns the power grid. NYSEG is just one out of many companies that delivers our electric. So it's out. Yeah, it's out of their control. But you know what, Barry? I'm not giving them no passes. I'm not giving them no passes because they could still try to do something, or our mayor, Governor Hochul, or our legislatures or whatever. Somebody needs to fight for us because this is not, our county is not one of those high paying counties. I mean, we're okay, but we're not, we don't make that kind of money. It's starting to look, word, no lie, like a third world type of country. When you drive around and you look at the housing for those of us that don't own a home. And I'm blessed. I love where I live. Thank God. God is good. Won't he do it? Like some of the places that are for rent. Okay, Eric. I see you, Eric. Some of the people that for those that are tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to know where you're from. I would love to know where you're from. Lord, my third world countries. Some of the housing is so bad the way it looks, and the rent is astronomical. The rent is crazy. And that goes back to what I always go to. There was a zoning board meeting here for the town of Fallsburg, and I didn't know about it because, like I said, I've like really checked out. I got to get back into it. There was this big zoning board meeting, and there were so many people that came out, and they probably wasn't expecting this many people to come out because for those of us that live here in Sullivan County, the Hasidic population is building like they did in the Goshen area, Curious Joel and all that. And if you say that, like, that building needs beautiful, Long Island in the house. Hey, Uncle Mark. They're building these beautiful structures, right? And all new. But the thing about it is, regular people, I'm a regular people. Hey, Mildred, Virginia. Oh, okay. Regular people can't live in them, right? So what I mean by regular people is they're a community, a religious community that they don't really integrate with the rest of the community. You know what I'm saying? And it reminds me of Bible also. And I don't know, Uncle Mark is on here, so maybe he can answer this for me. But like, there's a part in the Bible where it says, how can I say it? I can say this in bunky terms so it makes sense to me. Like, you live in a neighborhood, but you're not a part of the neighborhood. Basically, you're there, but you're not there. Come out from among them and be ye also separated. Come out from among them, be ye also separated. And when I see the Hasidic community, like, they're amongst us, but they're not a part of us. They have their own world. And if you say anything about them, if you say anything, instantly you're tagged as anti-Semitic. Anytime. So a lot of people are careful, and it's not bashing them. I'm not mad at them. You're doing what you're doing. You know how to work the system. Like, they're trying to build more structures. And when I say for people from Sullivan County, when you drive up here now and you see it, it doesn't look anything like it looked like in the 70s, 80s, even early 90s. Doesn't look like that. It's structures everywhere that nobody else can live in. But if you say anything about it, you're anti-Semitic, and which is crazy because now I got a thing where I'm just going to say, then you're anti-Black. If I'm anti-Semitic, you're anti-Black, because I'm not bashing you. I'm just saying what it is. You have more rights than I do, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. Yeah. Getting back to what I was talking about what's going on. I don't know how many of you watched the State of the Union address. I didn't. I watched the People's Address. I watched that on MSNBC. Well, I watched it on YouTube, but I refused to watch the Trump thing. And there was this part in here. Now, we mentioned that he wants to cut Medicaid and he wants to cut like different health, separating us from the different health organizations. He wants to dismantle America. Really, that's what he's doing. He's pulling out people. He's putting in people who, if you go to Monroe, they have their own apartments and groceries. Vanessa, that's what it is here. That's totally what it is here. They're trying to make it just like Monroe. And finally, the people here are starting to fight back like they did in Monroe. But see, what they tried to do, I'm just so glad there's people that just don't have, that just have, not that they don't have anything to do, but have time to sit there and read through everything. Because what they were trying to do was, during this new building project they wanted to do, they tried to slip a shul in there. They tried to slip a shul in there because, you know, once you have a church or a synagogue as praying, then it becomes tax exempt because it's a religious situation. So like they know how to work the system. And it's like, it's really terrible because I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm just going to leave that alone, because then people are like, oh, well, you're hating on them. I'm not hating on them. I just think that a lot of things that goes on is wrong. I think that them tearing up the landscape and the poor animals running into our cars because they don't have nowhere to go, I think that's wrong. But that has nothing to do with this. And a lot of them voted for Trump. A lot of them voted for Trump. There was what is her name? What is she? There's this lady, Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. She's the one, when I was talking about the bottom feeders and him draining the swamp, she's the one who bragged about shooting her dog. Like, these are the type of people that he's putting in office. When you look at the people in office, when you look at the things he's putting into place, because I don't know if a lot of you know that he even cut a lot of services or trying to get rid of the suicide hotline. Why are you trying to get rid of the suicide hotline? There's a purpose for the suicide hotline. People are going through crisis. People are going through things, and they can call. Maybe that one call have or will save your life or save somebody else's life. But they're so evil. They're so evil that they want to get away with it. We are watching this come into play in real life. He said he didn't know anything about it. He doesn't know anything, blah, blah, blah. He acted like an ostrich, and people fell for it. People fell for it. And we're watching this unfold. We watched, I don't know what y'all thought about, I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know who watched that office meeting with the two bullies, Trump and Vance, who, from what I understand, vice presidents aren't even normally in this type of conversation. The room was filled with reporters and cameras when they met with Zelensky. Normally it's just one-on-one with the two heads of state, and they bullied this man. They bullied him. They want the minerals and everything, all they can get from his country. This man is trying to stand up for his country and fight for his country, while Trump's best friend, Putin, well, not his best friend, his puppet, because we know Putin runs him, is trying to take over and claim their land. How you gonna claim something where people live? So trying to take over that, they bullied this man. And Vance sitting there, Vance, who said years ago, called, compared Trump to Hitler, as we all see the white supremacists on TV, online, doing the salute, and nobody's saying anything. People are saying, oh, that's not what they're doing. This is why I had to disconnect from social media for a month and the news for a month, because it was totally messing with my mental. It was messing with my mental. And I really suggest to a lot of people, if you're so engaged in social media all day and the news all day, you need to take a step back. You need to take a step back, regroup, get yourself together, because it's really crazy, the things that we're watching. I mean, they did not even, they canceled going to the meeting. I don't know. I'm putting it in Bunky's words. The meetings where they're preparing for the flu vaccine for next year, they canceled it. They didn't go because, remember, we got an anti-vaxxer in place. We got an anti-vaxxer, and they're trying to get out of the World Health Organization, all that stuff like that. So we don't know what's coming to America. We don't know because they don't want us to know. So far, then we don't have a real vaccine for next year for the flu vaccine. And I'm one of those people, I'm now of a certain age, well, I get my vaccine, and there is no vaccine. So, and from what I understand, they did not reschedule. They didn't reschedule the meeting. So as of now, we do not have a flu vaccine for next year. And also, Trump is making it, what is the wording? He's putting an order that prioritizes. Now they're talking about mass deportations and people who don't, aren't from America, whatever. But he's putting in an order that prioritizes the U.S. settlement of white South Africans. White South. See how they emphasize that? Musk emphasized that. Trump emphasized that. The mass deportations and the people that they're deporting are brown and black people. They don't want us here. So they're doing, my background fell, but whatever. But they're doing whatever they can to try to get people out. Talking about, like, this is how these people think. They're all about money, that 1%. Talking about building up the Gaza Strip, putting hotels and things on it. So what are you going to do with the people that live there? What are you doing with the people that live there, where it's torn? People are fighting over this, and America think they're just going to come and swoop in and take it over. That's what he does. That's what. Hey, Gabe. Welcome to Tea Time with Bunky. Can't wait for your show to start. That's what they do. They sweep in. He tries to make America self-efficient, but we're always going to need things from other countries. Yes, you always need help. Nobody can do anything alone. You always need your neighbor at one point or another. You always need your neighbor's help. He told Panama that they would be safe if they become part of America. Panama, they're not thinking about us. They're not. Why are you messing with these people? Why are you messing with these people? The Gulf of Mexico have always been the Gulf of Mexico. Now you want to make a Gulf of America. Why? What is it? Man. And then for people that aren't doing it, like when those dreadful fires was going on in California, because he didn't like the governor there, he didn't want to help them. But we saw help coming in from Mexico, I think Canada, Alaska. People were flying in to help, and Trump was holding back. Who does that? This is supposed to be your country. You haven't even been in office 2 months, and he has undone so much stuff, so much that has been put into place. And the question is why? And why are people still supporting him? I can see back when people were like, okay, his first run, people didn't know what to expect. Okay. They didn't know he was a joker. They didn't know that he was basically really just a reality TV person. They didn't know who he was. But when after the first term, he showed everybody who he was, right? He showed everybody who he was. So the next time go around, well, what he did was unleash America, showed what they really were, America. And people fell into that, and then they liked that. They liked that feeling. And so when he ran again and he started talking about he's going to make America great again, which was never really great for my ancestors, but they fell into that, the white supremacy. You're seeing it's like hangings and the murders. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the murders and of people of color. Vance wants Chauvin, the officer who had his neck on, George Floyd, wants him to be released. He thinks he should be released. Vance thinks that Chauvin, an ex-officer who we watched murder a man on national television that changed my life, he wants him released. This is the must. This is the type of people Vance. These are the type of people that are in office. Okay. And then we have the Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan Tate. Y'all don't know about Andrew and Tristan Tate. They were overseas. They were banned. Their ban was lifted. And they got clear to come to Florida. And the accusations against these monsters, which, mind you, their net worth is 100 million plus. Okay, so they're millionaires. So they part of 1%. So of course they're welcome. Their accusations of having formed an organized criminal group, human trafficking of minors, and something else. But that's bad enough. So does that give Diddy a pass then? Because he has like these kind of charges, doesn't he? For the hip hop people that follow the Diddy trial, I don't know nothing about the Diddy trial, but doesn't he have these like trafficking charges of minors and different things? But you have Andrew and Tristan Tate who were welcomed back into America because they're part of that 1%. Make that make sense. For those that watched the State of the Union, there's a video I want to show. Let me see if I can do this. For those that watch the State of the Union, here we go.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Look at this mess. You see his hands? Look at the crowd. So look at the faces that this little boy is seeing. All right, that's enough of that. I'm over that. Okay, so that's enough of that. If you watch that and you see his body language, the little boy's hands. Well, he's not little. He's 13. The boy has a mustache coming in. So he's a teenager, and his father's holding him up, parading him like a little showpiece to Trump and all of his people. Okay, his hands are clenched in a fist, and you could tell that he's very uncomfortable. And his father's parading him around. This little boy is a cancer survivor. God bless him. 13 years old. He's a cancer survivor, brain cancer. Okay. Trump made him an honorary member of the Secret Service, which we all know in reality, Trump doesn't want black people in the civil service. He doesn't want black people in any positions. But the things that saved his life, Trump wants to cut. The things that saved his life, Trump wants to cut. So if these services are cut from him, Lord forbid the cancer comes back. He's not going to survive it. He's not going to survive it because it's going to take him out because they don't really care anything about anybody. Doesn't care anything about anybody. I don't know. So what are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking about this? Well, no, what he said about Panama is he's trying to reclaim the Panama Canal. That's what Trump is trying to do. Trying to reclaim the Panama Canal. He is bigging up Putin. Zelensky and Ukraine are the enemy. He said that Ukraine started the war. Let him know that he's not going to win, and he's not going to win without American support. But at the end of the day, how protected are we? We see the alliances shifting, the global alliances. All of our allies, they hate us. Our allies hate us. They don't want anything to do with us, and they say that it's not us. And that's the thing. They're saying it's not us. It's one man. It's one man. So what happens? Can he be impeached? No, probably not, right? Because he has the judges, all the Supreme Court, all basically all on his side. But there are people that are turning against him. But they're afraid of retaliation. They're afraid of retaliation. There was one time on the show when we talked about President Biden pardoning his son, Hunter, and people were so against it. People were so against it. I think Trump is scared of Putin. He is scared of him, Vanessa. He is terrified of that little man. He's scared of him. He tries to act like, I heard somewhere, someone had said that Trump is basically acting, he's hardcore New York. So that's how he is. It's in him. You can't change him. Lies. He's scared of Putin because he knows Putin would tear him up. Wants to be, all of these people want to bring it back so that it's a totally white America. And how sad is that? How sad is it that they're so afraid? Like they really want to do a Hitler thing without doing a Hitler thing. If that makes any sense. They don't want to, well, it is in your face. Excuse me, the discrimination and different things that they do. It is in your face. But I don't think they want it as in your face like that. So they could be like, oh, well, we weren't that bad. We didn't do that. But their goal is to make America all white, which America was never all white. So they're trying to do something that was never done. Because remember, when they came here, the Native Americans to this land, the people who were on this land were black and brown. So America was never all white. And they tried to erase them out. And I think that's why they're trying to erase all of our history, because they don't want people to know like what really happened. They're trying to pick and choose. I mean, come on, Mark Rubio. What is he? His position. Mark Rubio is Secretary of State. He was like one of the ringleaders of banning books and stuff. One of the ringleaders of banning books, banning our history. And I'm telling you, everything now, like it kind of goes back to Bible to me. Like when I used to always hear, hide the word in your heart, which means know the word of God, know the Bible, because this book eventually is going to be banned. It's probably going to be banned, and the only Bible that's going to be allowed is the Trump Bible. Y'all remember the Trump Bible, the one he's selling for $60. Yeah, so that's going to be probably one of the banned books, and everything. I'm watching everything go on, and we're living. There's a song that my old church used to sing. I could see minister. what is his title? Albert Younger. I could see him leading the song "Living in the Last Days." And there's a part in the song that say, "We're living in a time when men don't consider God's ways, making the right wrong. No, talking, making the wrong right. Something like that. Making the wrong right. Yeah, making the wrong right." And yo, we're really living that right now. We are living in the most wicked of times, y'all. And they say when this happens, look up. And I don't come on and talk about, well, not, I don't do religion. I do Bible and I do Jesus all day long. Trump is nowhere. He is not walking in God's image. For all you people out there that's going to watch this later on YouTube and probably going to come for me, I really don't care. I don't care. He is not the chosen one. He doesn't even know how to hold a Bible. As we saw, he held it upside down. But we need to stand up for what's right. We need to continue to make our voices heard. And that goes into, there's an election coming up. There's an election coming up. And I believe it's the Senate. There's going to be 3 Senate seats, maybe 4 now, because unfortunately that one man right after the convention, there's a black senator, I believe it's a black senator. Right after the convention, the man died. I think he had a heart attack. And died. So that's another Senate seat. So that's 4, Lord. That was wrong. But another seat. So you guys, I know there's one in New York, 1 or 2. One in North Carolina and somewhere else. They're Democrat. One in New Jersey. Not New Jersey. But either way, right now they have control. They have control of the House and the Senate, Congress. They have control. And you need to get out there and vote. You don't like what you're seeing. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, but it's going to give them a little bit of pushback. If you get out there and vote Democrat, get out there and vote, even for you Trumpers, because it's not even the Republican Party, because some of them have waken up and going against this man. Everybody isn't falling into line. They don't like what he's doing. So it's not like the Republican Party. It's the Trumpers who are afraid of him. Get out there, know about the elections coming up, and you have to vote. You have to vote Democrat. You can't be like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I don't like anybody running. I don't like any of the candidates. That's what's got us in this mess in the first place. We told y'all that he was going to do this. We didn't expect him to do it so fast. I saw on somebody's page, somebody had it on their page. They were, I'm not going to name the gender of the person, but they were African American and they were a pro-Trump supporter and was banking on this man giving a stimulus check. Really, you're going to sell the country for $1,200? You're going to sell your rights and if you have a daughter rights, or if you have a family member that's a part of the LGBTQ community, Black, Hispanic, you're going to sell their rights for $1,200. Make that make sense. Now, from what I'm seeing, they were talking about a stimulus check, $5,000 stimulus check from Doge. Trump said he was thinking about it. Don't hold your breath, because if you hold your breath looking for a stimulus check from Trump, you're going to die. That's what's going to happen, because he's not thinking about y'all. He's not thinking about us. We see Black journalists, Joy Reid and other journalists losing their jobs because they're talking, calling the wrong right, calling the right wrong. Truly, we're living in the last days. Yeah, Uncle Mark, those are the words to the song. I can see Albert singing it right now. I could see him and hear him singing it. And you know what? And the crazy thing about it is when we were young, I was talking to my sons about this. When we were young, you know, like some of the songs that we sang when we were little kids, we sang them because the music felt good. Um, but now as adults, it hits different. It hits different because we're watching and we've lived a little bit and we see what's going on. It's pretty scary out there because like who has our back right now? Lord forbid something was to happen. Who has America's back right now? Nobody. Because this man is, I mean, and remember y'all voters out there, they have bunkers. So if something was to jump off, they have somewhere to go. You don't have nowhere to go. They have bunkers to keep them protected. And it's just insane. It's just insane. So, like, my advice to everybody that has health insurance right now, go get your physicals, go get everything you need because who knows where we're going to be this time next year. Get your water, your canned goods or whatever, stock up on them and get some cash, put it aside, not in the bank because if the banks crash, because they're making sure that people who look like them, those people who are in these positions, Project 2025, they're making sure that people who look like them are getting things that they want and that they need. And that's the 1%. And they say jobs are plenteous now. Yeah, jobs are plenteous. People were talking about people from other countries. Oh, they're taking our jobs. But I don't see none of y'all in the fields. I don't see none of y'all in the fields doing farm work. Those people were doing jobs that you wouldn't dare to do. But if you look deep down inside of you, because right now it's time for you to do self-examination. That month I've been off, let me tell you, I have been doing some self-evaluation. I've been examining, looking deep within myself, looking at the ugly in me, because we all got ugly in us, trying to fix those feelings, trying not to let this man and his actions make me hate. Because, you know, once you cross that line to hate, it's pretty hard to get back over there, get back over to the other side. So no, I didn't get there, but he got me close. I mean, I look at, when you talk about canceling Medicaid funding, there's so many different services that people get, these non-for-profits get for use Medicaid funding, Medicaid dollars to pay for services for people with developmental and mental disabilities and like our senior things. These are Medicaid funded programs. But they don't care about that. Why? Because they're rich and they're wealthy and they have money to take care of it. But these are Medicaid funded programs that he just wants to erase. I mean, we know how Trump feels about people with developmental disabilities. We know because his own nephew told us what he said about his great nephew. And if you forgot, let me remind you, his great nephew wrote a book about his Uncle Donald. And apparently he was in charge of the trust fund. His brother passed away. Donald's brother passed away, and his kids, I guess they were still young. So Donald was over the trust. So when he needed money to pay for his son's medical bills and expenses and different services that he needs because his son is disabled, it got to a point where he was like, why do you care so much? Why don't you just let him die? He can't even say your name. This is the man that's in office right now. So if he doesn't care about his family, he doesn't care about you. Just so you know, Vance is a puppet. We don't even see him. We see Musk. We saw Vance in that disaster of a meeting with Zelensky because he was just a puppet and he probably just happened to be on TV. But we see more of Elon Musk, who isn't an elected official, who has access to all of our banking records. Not that mine really matters really much right now, but he has access to everything, and he's not even an elected official. And they're lying about him being overdosed. It's so crazy. And he's running around, him and his son, little boy, in meetings. Make this make sense. This is a nightmare. I don't know. All we could do is pray right now, pray and vote. Make sure you vote. Continue to get out there and fight, because a lot of people out there now, they're trying to fight a little too late, but they're trying to fight all of this stuff. And we just we can't roll over and let this man do whatever he wants to do. So basically, that's what Tea Time with Bunky was about. I didn't want to have a guest on. I had to just get some of my ventation out because I was sitting home for this month. And then when I had to do my catch up moment with the news and social media and saw everything that was going on, that was my first instinct. Like, yo, what is going on? Like, America is going crazy. America is in a crisis. And we are in a crisis right now. And I pray that all of you, because I'm about to wrap this up, I pray that all of us, because we need our allies too. I mean, like, I talk about white supremacy and everything like that, and I'm not a hater. I love my white friends and family. I do, because we need allies. We need people to stand up for us, but we got to stand up for us also. You got to stop with that attitude. Well, it don't affect my family. My family fine. You got to stop it. You got to stop it. You got to look out for one another. We have to help each other because nobody's coming to our aid. Nobody's coming to our aid. Our town officials, look out for your local elections coming up. Yeah, because there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing going on around here. And I can say we've been hoodwinked. We've been hoodwinked on a whole lot of things. So I need you all to get out there and get out there, make your voices heard. Let's try to get back some of the things that we lost. So I am getting ready to end this. It's been real, y'all. I missed you. I don't know. Maybe I have a guest next week. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But Tea Time with Bunky is back to Thursdays where I have my guests. I have some special shows coming up. But I just had to put one toe in the water and start to get my feel back around and start being comfortable with this social media thing again and doing the show. There's going to be some fun shows. There's going to be some heavy shows because there's a lot going on in America. There's a lot going on in the town that you're living in. Life is short. Life is getting shorter. For us that are getting older, life is getting shorter. Reach out to your loved ones. I've tried. There's some that I've tried. And you know what? Sometimes you do get tired of being the one that's always trying to extend that olive branch. But at least you say you tried. You know, reach out, do what you can do, because tonight is not promised to us. We used to say tomorrow's not promised to you. Tonight is not promised to us. So you could do a Facebook post 1 minute, 2 minutes later, it's over. So you know what? Try not to have hate in your heart. America has us going crazy right now, but let's try not to let it, turn against our neighbor or whatever the case may be. We need each other. We're all in this together. So you all have a super day. Well, night. It's time to go to bed. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Let's just do what we got to do. I will see you next Thursday. Tea Time with Bunky, 7 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Oh, to all my Instagram people that was on, I try to remind you, when you come on, I can't see your comments. So I would really love for you to subscribe to my Tea Time with Bunky YouTube. That way, when you comment or whatever, I can see and engage with you, because I really want to engage with you. I'm not dissing you or dismissing you. It's just that I can't see your comments. So on that note, I am going to end this. I appreciate you all so very, very much. And I will see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Tea Time with Bunky is where all the conversation goes down. Difficult conversations we don't want to talk about, down to the conversations, lighthearted conversations that we are for. Yes, I stand proud with Ukraine. This is what it is, because we do not support bullies. And right now, that's what seems to be going on. So President Zelensky, we pray for your country. We stand with Ukraine. We're not going for the okie doke. So you all have a great night. I appreciate you so much. Bye-bye.